Alright, last video for me. So this is about the most difficult deck for me to read, or one of my most difficult decks to read, because there are a few that are pretty difficult. This one for me is it's like very surprising, but then I'm not surprised that I'm not surprised, but I am surprised. And it is a part of a group of decks that would be, I guess, harder for people based on how they're designed. So I'm talking about the KAWAII Tarot. And I have the OK Tarot, which is also a minimalist. That's the description that I'm giving. A minimalist design, meaning there's no background, there's people, but it's just more like the face. It's not descriptive, it's no real like art to kind of go off of outside of like the picture. That's it. Like, that's it. This is it. This is it. This is it. So I got it before, like 2019 or something like that, and I sold it, and then I was like, no, I should like go get it again. And I've gotten it again, and I go to read with it, and like, I don't know, every time I go to read with it, I don't know, it's like a deck where you have to like trust what you're getting. So I put this as a Uranus deck, and I do have, for me as a personal chart, I do have Uranus opposed my Mercury, and so I feel like what I get, I don't know if I trust it or I go too fast past the message, and then when I try to backtrack, the message is gone. And so it's so confusing to me. This is a very confusing deck to me, and it's kind of crazy because the OK Tarot tends to be very straightforward and very not welcoming, because this isn't a cold deck. It's not a cold deck to me, but it's a very interesting relationship that I have with this deck. I don't know, I guess I would have to work with it a lot, because I do readings sometimes, like relationships, and maybe it's because it's so cute that people peg it like that, and that's probably a thing. It probably does want to do more serious work than what its name and its design implies, and that's why it's not as simple to read. Because I don't know, like, what are you guys'? This might be an entire series, an entire thing, like difficult decks, and I just go through decks and I'm just like, damn, like, where am I with this? But I find this deck to just be very difficult. There's just something about this deck that I'm like, what? And it's like literally, with this one, you don't even get like people. Like, you don't even get people. You get like a hand. Like, you don't see no faces. You just see 6 rods, 7 rods. You got 5 cups. You got a star. You got a sun. You got 2 swords. You don't even have faces, and I can read this one. And then that one, you got faces. It's still minimalist, but you got faces, and I still be like, what? I be so confused. It'd be the craziest thing. Like, I be so confused. And so that's why I kind of feel like it either needs to be, I'm getting inklings, like, looking at this, it's gonna make this deck is gonna make me work for its relationship. And maybe that's a lesson for me, to not take my tarot relationships for granted. Like, I'm an animist, and so I do respect my decks, but I guess I have a lot of them, and so I can't take the relationship I have with this for granted because it falls into minimalist decks, right? Like, I think these are the only 2 decks that are really like minimalist. They don't have that much detail. They don't have that much going on. And so I can't take for granted that it is going to be easy, and I can't expect it to be easy because of how it's designed. But there's something about this deck that's just like lurking. It's like cutely sinister. It's like, why are you withholding something from me? Why? But I do think because it's called Kawaii Tarot that people probably put it in like cute readings, and it's probably like, I'm tired of this shit. I'm tired of you putting me in this shit. I'm tired of you talking about cutesy ass shit. I want to get to the real deal. I want to like rip life apart, you know? Like one of those people that like they be like real nice on the surface, but like underneath they be like real angry and shit. You be like, damn, like you angry as fuck. Like, wow. Maybe it's gonna help me work through it, like anger or something like that. Or it's meant to help people work through anger, which would be a deck I would assign like Mars to like decks like that. Like my Osho Zen, I assigned Mars because I was like, this seemed like a deck that would help you through kind of some of that like psychological fighting that you're doing. This might be Uranus conjunct Mars, which Lord help you. You might be thinking you might do something first and think later. But yeah, it's just something about this, and I feel like I don't think. Let me see. Let me look. This might be one of the few books that I feel like I might have to read, because it might be like, okay, you can I look at this? Yeah, this is yeah. This is one of them decks that this is gonna push me to like actually like read, and I've been reading thus far, but how I'm gonna read must be getting ready to change, because this deck is just really, it's just really interesting that this would be a difficult deck for me. It would be a very difficult deck. And it's one of those decks that it's minimally designed, but it doesn't want you, because I've tried to read with this before, and I pull multiple cards, and that's why I don't read for myself, because I'd be like, no, I want the answer, and I want this answer, or I want a fucking answer that's like conclusive, and it's not. And this is just, I'd just be so confused. I'd be more confused when I pull more cards for myself. For other people, it kind of works because you're a boo. But for yourself, it'd be so hard sometimes. So reading for yourself is a real skill, because it's like you have to trust yourself enough to be able to accurately see yourself, but then also you have to understand that you have to look at yourself sometimes as a person, and you're reading for yourself, and yourself is a person, and yourself is like the clients that you read for. They have issues, they have problems, they have things that are going wrong, and there are things that are going well. And you kind of have to like learn to sit your ass down and be humbled. And so yeah, but this is one of my difficult decks. I do like it though. Like I really like it. So I actually recommend not pulling multiple cards. Just do one card or maybe two, and go from there. But like pulling like 3, 4, 5, trying to do spreads and shit. This one, it just seemed like it overwhelmed you. That Uranus aspect that I be picking up from it be overloading the shit out of me. And I already got an overloaded kind of like weird Uranus thing going on with my Mercury. It's no going on for me. So yeah, that is a difficult deck for me. What's one of yours? I'll talk to you guys later.